Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got a new Clefairy to look at. And generally speaking, we don't tend to give Clefairy their own video, because it's Clefairy. It's an evolving Pokemon. Generally speaking, we use Clefairy as a conduit to evolve up into Clefable. Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new Clefairy to talk about, and it's a really good Clefairy. Although it is actually worth noting that the Clefairy that came around in Evolutions was a really quite good card. For free energy, you got to copy one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack, which is kind of cool. Keep that one in mind, we're going to get there in a minute. Now, you have got 60 HP, which is at least a lot higher than the other Clefairy. Should mention our translation comes from the lovely Antoine Boulet, one of our very, very favourites here. And we've got ourselves a retreat cost of 1. Retreat cost of 1 is quite nice because it means we can use U-turn board to get free retreat, so it could be worse. We do have a weakness to metal here, and that is potentially relevant. One card I've seen popping up in a bunch of Japanese decks lately is the Duraludon from Rebel Clash, which for a single metal energy does 30 damage and attaches a metal energy from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. So that Duraludon will actually get a one-hit KO on Clefairy because of your HP and weakness. So that is genuinely relevant, something to bear in mind. As for yourself hitting for weakness, I mean, you're a psychic Pokemon. So, Mewtwo and Mew. Mewtwo and Mew is still out there and still seeing a bunch of play. People are still liking it, so yeah, you hit that for weakness. You are losing most of your tricks though. We're losing Spell Tag to drop extra damage counters. We're losing Malamar to accelerate energy, which is a little bit sad, though not maybe the end of the world. We are losing Mysterious Treasure to search it out, but I'm not particularly upset. Now, we're not going to spend any real time talking about the first attack. 1 energy, 10 damage is about as generic and rubbish and pointless and meh as you can possibly get. It literally couldn't be worse unless it did nothing. So maybe we don't focus on this very much. What I do like, however, is the second attack, and this could fit into a whole bunch of decks. Mini Metronome. 2 colorless energy, flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. Now, if anyone's thinking, well, hang on a second, isn't that just the Clefairy from Evolutions? But you have to flip a coin, whereas you didn't for that. Yes. Yes, it is. And the thing is, that Clefairy saw play. That Clefairy got put in Vikavolt decks, for instance, because they could accelerate a little bit of energy, and it would then see a little bit of play. And essentially, when it comes down to this, there are other things we can do, but right off the bat, the first thing to say is, any Pokemon that can KO itself needs to be worried about Clefairy. And probably the classic example of that is Zacian. Zacian's got 220 HP and an attack that does 230 damage for free metal energy. Well, Clefairy comes along for 2 colorless energy, and if Zacian's in the active, you flip a coin. If heads, you KO it. You take 2 prizes. That is kind of ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. Now, in terms of the energy doesn't worry me here. We got Twin Energy. Twin Energy is 2 colorless energy when attached to a non-GX, non-V Pokemon. Twin Energy will work here very nicely indeed. You can use Welder, which attaches to Fire Energy, and that will be fine. Or indeed, you can use any energy acceleration you like. Any energy acceleration will do here. But generally speaking, we're probably going to be using Twin Energy or whacking it in a Welder deck. And this is good. Having a single prize, potentially single energy attachment Pokemon that you can use to take out a Zacian, that's really handy. That is going to take you some cheeky prizes. And then it's really just down to whatever else you can KO. I mean, something like Blacephalon, for instance, it's just not going to work. Because Blacephalon does damage depending on how many fire energy you discard from your hand. Now, to be fair, in a mirror match, When you're playing Blacephalon anyway, this gives you a 2-energy attacker rather than a 3-energy attacker, though whether you're willing to put up with a coin flip is very much on you, although that might not be an issue. We'll get to the coin flip thing in a minute. But that will be an option. Against something like Eternatus, whose damage is dependent on the amount of Darkness Pokemon you've got on your bench, not ideal. Now, having said that, having a single prize Pokemon rather than a free prize Pokemon doing the same attack, I could get behind that. And that's one of the things that Clefairy is going to do a lot of the time. It is basically going to come against a 2 or 3 prize Pokemon, and it is going to copy their attack while still being a single prize Pokemon. And yeah, stuff like Mewtwo and Mew basically has no attack. The rule with this is that you don't need the energy, because if you need the energy, it always tells you see Mewtwo and Mew. And also, yes, you can copy a GX attack. If you can't, it tells you see Mimikyu, but it's only one GX attack during the game. So once you've used your GX attack, you flip your GX marker over, and you're not allowed anymore to use a GX attack. But you can still copy a GX attack if you like. But remember, you've got to copy the extra stuff. So let's say you're against Pikachu and Zekrom. If you've got 2 colorless energy, you are allowed to do 200 damage to your opponent's active. If you want to also do the 170 to your opponent's bench, you need 3 extra lightning energy. So you could do it for a twin energy and 3 lightning, but you couldn't just do it for a twin energy. Twin energy gets you Tag Bolt. The extra energy gets you the extra effect. And we know this because over in Japan, they did have an official ruling regarding Ninetales. Because remember, the Ninetales V has pretty much this exact attack. For 3 energy, you get to copy any attack from your opponent's active Pokemon. It is this, but not on a coin flip, but for an extra energy on a 2-prize Pokemon. But we know from the Ninetales ruling that if you're copying a GX attack, if you want the extra effect of the GX attack, you've got to have the extra energy on as if you were just playing it normally. Can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. Can't win them all. Still pretty nice. Something like Reshiram and Charizard, you're going to be just a little bit short here. Reshiram and Charizard has 270 and does 230, but there's nothing to stop you putting 40 damage on there in some other way and then just rolling. I do feel the need just quickly to go back to Mewtwo and Mew for a moment, because remember, they've only got their 1 GX attack, but their GX attack does do 200 damage natively, and you will be hitting for weakness, so this will, for a twin energy, get a 1-hit KO on a Mewtwo and Mew. And that's kind of my point here with Clefairy. Clefairy is here to chuck the prize race in your favour. You're probably not playing a Clefairy deck, and honestly, if you're ahead in the game, you're probably not even caring. But sometimes you're going to be playing against those Mewtwo and Mew lists that play lots of special energy, your Rainbow, your Aurora, things of that nature. And what's going to happen is that your opponent is going to have 1 Mewtwo and Mew that they are just using to run through your deck, and you do not have an answer. Okay, fine, this might be on a coin flip, but it could be flip a coin to take 3 prizes and get all of your opponent's energy off the field. I think that's worth it. Now, in terms of the coin flip here, we do have 2 options. Glimwood Tangle is a stadium card, which is just the old Victini. That is to say, if you don't get the flip you want from an attack, you may reflip. It doesn't guarantee a heads, but it turns a 50% chance into a 75% chance, which is pretty sweet. And if you head over into the expanded format, you can actually add them together. So you can use both of them, and then you go from a 75% chance to an 87.5% chance, which is pretty good. Remember, Trick Coin does stop you using something else that does the same thing, but neither Victini nor Glimwood Tangle does. It's only in Expanded, but in Expanded you do get to use both of them. The other option you've got here, of course, is Will, and Will make sure you flip a heads. Now, it is a supporter card, admittedly, and it's a supporter card that basically says, hey, you can fix your next coin flip. But the thing is, remember, you're going to be using Clefairy a lot of the time to take out a 2-prize Zacian or a 3-prize Mewtwo and Mew, etc. Why would you not? Why would you not be willing to play a supporter to guarantee that multiple prize KO with a Clefairy? Clefairy's good. Also, there are some weirder uses here. Like, one of the ones the lovely Antoine Boulet put out over Twitter was that new amazing rare Jirachi. Remember, it's got the attack that lets you search your deck for 7 basic energy and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, but for a really super awkward attack cost. Well, now Clefairy, for 2 colourless energy, gets to do that and get 7 energy on the field, which is nuts. And remember, Jirachi's got that really nice ability. If it's in the active, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in your hand, put the other one on top of your deck. So people may well be playing that Jirachi for consistency, and if they're playing that Jirachi for consistency, you can then copy it with Clefairy, and you get to use that ridiculous attack that they aren't able to use. That could be kind of hilarious. I love Clefairy. Okay, fine, it's on a coin flip, but I've told you about that. It's a basic Pokemon that can be used for a single energy attachment and can legitimately counter some of the best Pokemon in the game. That's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely ridiculous. And just to be clear, yes, I know that the other Clefairy from Evolutions didn't need a coin flip, but remember, that was free colourless energy. That could not be paid in one attachment. This can. I'm a fan, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think this is going to pop up in a whole bunch of decks over the next few years. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.